spokesperson of the BJP, and Paranjoy Guha-Thakurta, senior journalist, joins me. Let me come to you straight, Saugata Roy. What kind of politics is this, that because two of your MPs have been arrested by the CBI, no less than the CBI, that your chief minister takes to the street and starts making allegations against the centre? Is there any basis when you make allegations of the kind that Mamata Banerjee is now making? Shouldn't she provide evidence first to show that her MPs are not involved in the Saradha scam rather than in simply targeting the centre?
You're talking of two MPs. One of them is a suspended MP and we never objected to his arrest. We have objected to the arrest of Srinjoy Ghosh.
Both of them are close to Mamata.
It has been alleged earlier also. Please listen to me. Earlier also, there have been allegations against CBI that CBI is being used for partisan purposes. You must remember that the BJP president, Amit Shah, was arrested by the CBI and then the court externed him from Gujarat for 2 years. Karnataka BJP Chief Minister Yedurappa was arrested by CBI. At that time, the BJP had taken a position that CBI is being used politically. So now, we are feeling strongly the same way that the ruling party is trying to
provide a legal defense. No, Mr. Saugata Roy, if you feel that the CBI is being misused, provide a legal defense in the court. The decision to arrest, there is a court proceeding which has begun in the Saradha scam. Are you saying even the courts are being manipulated? The courts which are, placing these individuals in judicial custody, is the entire system being manipulated?
No, please understand. The Supreme Court is monitoring the Saradha investigation.
Yes.
So far in the charge sheet submitted to the Supreme Court, the names of these persons have not been included. Srinjoy's name is not there. Madan Mitra's name is not there. So what is being done to create a political effect. CBI has been called a cage parrot by the Supreme Court earlier. The CBI director was asked to recuse from investigation into the 2G scam. So CBI is not a holy organization.
No one is, Mr. Saugata Roy, Mr. Saugata Roy, you are a senior MP, you are coming on this program, you are coming on this program and suggesting that the CBI is being manipulated to arrest people. You are now going to the extent of saying not just a witch hunt but arrest people. Nalin Kohli, respond to what you are hearing from Saugata Roy. The claim that is now being made is similar claims to the kind that you used to make against the Congress party when you were in the opposition, Nalin Kohli, that the CBI is being manipulated. You used to call it the Congress Bureau of Investigation. Trinamool Congress is saying it is Narendra Modi Bureau of Investigation.
Amit Shah's case.
Just a minute, Mr. Saugata Roy, let Nalin Kohli respond.
Mr. Sardesai, I was hearing Mr. Roy rather patiently.
Yes.
And I think he is doing very intelligently from his party's perspective what his leader is trying to do in West Bengal. Is deflect attention from the real issue. This is not an issue about basically the CBI. It's an issue about the lack of governance. It's an issue to show that rhetoric cannot be an alternative to governance, and accusations and anarchy is not the way forward. That's exactly the sum total of what the West Bengal government under Trinamool Congress has delivered. They spoke about political vendetta when they were in opposition against the left front, and now they are the ones who are unleashing it. Whether to deny permission to Mr. Amit Shah's rally on a Sunday when there is no traffic problems in Kolkata, and by the way, I've grown up in that city, when there is no problem there, so it's gone to the matter of the court. Whether it is crude bombs exploding when there is a small little rally of the BJP. So the issue is that governance in West Bengal has taken a back seat. Corruption was the #1 thing. When the Saradha scam came out, the can of worms started opening, the Trinamool Congress found itself in a bind. In between, the Bardhaman blast happened. So they did everything in their power to prevent an investigation by the National Investigative Agency. They tried everything to try to communalize it. And when the facts are pointing that this is terrorism, anti-national, and seems to have clear cross-border implications and connections, they are talking about it stage managed. Then Mr. Derek O'Brien, and I don't mean this personally about him, but as a member of the party, he goes ahead and says, we will present the real evidence. real evidence in 48 hours. So far they have presented the not so real evidence, because all we've heard is only high-pitched rhetoric.
Nalin, you're saying that this is high-pitched rhetoric. Before I come to you, Paranjoy, Saugata Roy, you want to respond to that? When there are questions raised over Burdwan, you say this is devious, conceived, drafted and approved by the RSS. When Saradha scam comes, you say the BJP is a party of thieves which is manipulating the CBI. Now, are we saying every agency is against Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool? That whether it is an NIA which is involved in investigating terror, or whether it is the CBI involved in investigating corruption, are they all against Mamata Banerjee? Is this all a witch hunt?
No, there is no doubt that there is a concerted conspiracy by the central government and the BJP party.
With what purpose?
To destabilize the situation in West Bengal, so that BJP can make political gains. And since Mamata has not surrendered to Narendra Modi, they think that we shall bring her in line through this investigation. So that's why they are trying to do what they're trying to do.
Okay, you're saying that because Mamata is taking on Narendra Modi, that's why Narendra Modi is trying to destabilize the Bengal government. Paranjoy Guha Thakurta, is this now reaching the point where Mamata Banerjee going to hitting the streets as Chief Minister, is this now reaching the level of absurdity at one level?
Miss Mamata Banerjee has always been known for her rather theatrical style of conducting politics. Currently, she's fighting with her back to the wall. Her own, members of parliament, her old confidants, having been cornered by the CBI in the Saradha scam, are now saying, she knew exactly what was happening. But what is happening for her now? The way to keep her party together, to prevent the Trinamool supporters from going to the BJP, she has to adopt a confrontational strategy. So for her, offense is the best form of defense. In the process, she also makes some statements that sound pretty absurd, certainly to the middle classes. That the RAW planted bombs in Bardhaman, that the government is attacking her because she came to Delhi to attend a function for Nehru, which was the Congress had organized. Now, what is unfortunately happening is that Bengal seems to be currently going to go through a very, very confrontational and very, very dangerous phase of politics after more than 6 decades, because there is a communal tinge in it. Right. We know that, over a fourth of Bengal's population is Muslim. There are large pockets in Bengal where close to a third of the population is Muslim. And this kind of Trinamool Congress versus the left, with the left still in disarray, with the Congress almost finished in the state, this kind of confrontational politics, which is tinged with communal, tension on both sides, in my opinion, and I feel very sad, because I think both the Trinamool as well as the BJP and the RSS are responsible for injecting this kind of communal polarization in a state where 60 years ago it saw some of the worst communal riots on the subcontinent. I just hope things don't degenerate. But right now, for petty political gains, both Ms. Mamata Banerjee and the Bharatiya Janata Party are indulging in some very, very dangerous kind of politics.
I think you make a very valid point there. The worry, of course, is the communalization that you talk about in West Bengal. Who's responsible for it? I think both the Trinamool Congress and the BJP have to answer that. But for now, Mamata has to answer the real questions as of now on the Saradha scam in particular. If minister after minister or MP after MP of yours is being caught by the CBI, there are serious questions that the Chief Minister will have to answer. Nalin Kohli, Saugata Roy and Paranjoy Guha Thakurta, appreciate your joining us. We will keep tracking Mamata's travails on the Saradha scam here. 15 minutes of horror in the heart of Bengaluru. That's right. What began as a fun outing over ice cream turned out to be one of the biggest nightmares for 5 women. They were hounded and harassed by a group of unidentified men on the city's busy MG road. Their screams for help, while the predators waited for just one opportunity to prey on them, has shaken up Bangalore once again. Rohini Swami with that story.
The screams you hear is every woman's nightmare. And this nightmare stared 5 women in the face on Saturday night, when they stopped at an ice cream parlour in the heart of Bengaluru at 11:30 p.m. What followed was 15 minutes of horror. These men on your screen stared into the car which seated the 5 women, unsettling enough for the women to feel awkward. And then, within minutes, 5 men surrounded their car, attempting to open the doors.
My friend who was sitting in front immediately locked the car. So they started, banging on the door, banging as in not very subtly, open.
This is the exact spot on MG Road where 5 women had stopped their car at 11:30 p.m. on Saturday to have an ice cream. The ice cream parlor is just behind me. The place that I stand is the exact spot where the vehicle had stopped and 5 men had intimidated, frightened and threatened these 5 women who were sitting within the vehicle.
The terrified women screamed for help, but were careful not to roll the windows down. The men banged at the doors, asked them to open up, wielding blades at them.
But he did take out something from his pocket to threaten us. So I don't know if it was to threaten us or to, open the door.
Sensing no help around them, they made frantic calls, asking their husbands to rush to the spot. It was when a passerby stopped to inquire about their safety that the individuals in question quietly walked into darkness.
From the report that we have got, we have registered a case under various sections of the Indian Penal Code and we are investigating.
But for those who've been through the scare, Bengaluru doesn't seem safe anymore.
I don't feel safe anymore, and it's not the Bangalore that it used to be. You have to look over your shoulder at all times. There are these people who are so brazen because even these people who came to attack us, they didn't have fear.
The 5 women took the correct and bold step by lodging an FIR against their preying predators. Now it's your turn. As a responsible citizen, help find these predators in Bengaluru. If you have seen these men, call the police. Help end the city's horror. With Rohini Swami in Bangalore, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
And you've seen those photographs on your screen. We'll keep playing them. We're also on our website. There's a phone number of that. If you've seen those people who were just behaving almost in a bestial manner, just make sure that you can inform the police in Bangalore. We'll keep tracking that story. Let's turn from there, and we'll have more on that, we're told, at 10 p.m. tonight. Let's turn from that to the other big story of the day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaching Kathmandu tomorrow, Tuesday, for the SAARC summit. That's right, but there's speculation, meanwhile, over whether the Prime Minister will meet his Pakistani counterpart, Nawaz Sharif, on the sidelines of the summit. The External Affairs Ministry has refused to divulge any details about the possibility of such a meeting. The two leaders, though, may not have a bilateral meeting. An informal meeting, though, is likely to take place.
Between the Pakistan Prime Minister and the Indian Prime Minister.
ये सब चीजों के लिए कल तक इंतजार करिए.
When is the meeting with Mr. Modi?
No plans yet.
When are you meeting? Will you have a talk on the sideline with Mrs. Sushma Swaraj tomorrow?
Well, if she requests, I will.
There is no word yet?
At the moment, no.
So will that meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Sharif take place or not? Joining me now, Smita Sharma joins me live from Kathmandu. Smita, there is speculation, and it almost is inevitable before every SAARC summit whether the two leaders will meet, whether two Indian and Pakistani Prime Ministers will meet. What is the sense you're getting? Will there be an informal meeting?
Rajdeep, it's always been the misfortune of SAARC in a way that it's really been in the shadow of Indo-Pak talks always. I've personally covered previous SAARC summits right from Thimphu to Maldives, where always the question and in the center has been, are the two PMs, the two heads of states as far as India and Pakistan are concerned, are talking or not? This time around also, I tried, of course, asking those questions to Sartaj Aziz. There is some tough posturing, in fact, on Pakistan's side. He making it clear that he'll speak to Sushma Swaraj on a bilateral agenda only if she requests for it, and if there is an informal meeting request or an initiative by the Indian side, there could be a possible window of opportunity for that dialogue to happen. Now, clearly what sources are telling us is structured dialogue is ruled out at the moment. But remember, these two leaders, of course, will be at the City Hall for the entire length of the day of 26th of November when the SAARC summit officially kicks off. In 27, they will be together in Dhulikhel, which is some kilometers away from the capital city. So it really is going to be impossible for them not to indulge in some informal chit-chat. And knowing Mr. Modi and his knack, of course, for bringing in all these diplomatic surprises, one can really not be too sure, Asdeep.
But does Mr. Modi have the time in his packed schedule to actually have a meeting with the Pakistani Prime Minister? You're saying it probably won't be a structured meeting, but there will be lots of opportunities for surely informal meetings, particularly the retreat.
Absolutely, Rajdeep. In fact, tomorrow, when he arrives in the afternoon, his schedule is focused completely on relations with Nepal. But in the evening, there are some bilateral slots. Also on 26th and 27th, of course, the Indian government has kept slots reserved for bilaterals. Now, they are yet to decide as to whom is he meeting in which order. But if he wants, really, he can find time. He's a man who can go sleepless when he wants to. So time is really not a constraint for him. And he did manage to surprise everybody by organizing in a way that mini SAARC summit on his swearing-in ceremony, when he called in Mr. Nawaz Sharif himself, and it was almost like a mini SAARC summit in New Delhi. So clearly people are expecting him to make maybe that surprise move, but an informal chat is what we are really looking at here if it's possible.
Okay, so an informal conversation but no structured dialogue. And really the SAARC rules do not really allow for bilateral dialogues. It is meant to be a multilateral summit. Smita Sharma joining us there from Kathmandu, and we'll have plenty more in a round table which Rahul Kaval and others will have tomorrow from Kathmandu.